At the beginning of the movie, we are shown a husband and wife named Vincent and Sophie who used to run a butcher shop, but during this, the condition of their shop was very bad as their work was completely closed, and during this time against killing animals, some people enter their shop and attack those people and run away from there. Then Sophie meets her friend Stephanie, who tells her that I think you deserve a better person than Vincent because he hasn't done anything for her yet. During this, we learn that Stephanie's husband Mark has several butcher shops, from which he earns a lot of money. For this reason, he insults Sophie and Vincent a lot, due to which both of them get very angry and leave from there. During this, Sophie also talks about separating from Vincent, which makes him even angrier. Then his eyes fall on a man going down the road, seeing whom Vincent recognizes that he is the man who attacked his shop, so he tries to harm him by reversing his car to take revenge on him. Because of this, the man is crushed by his car and killed very badly. However, seeing this, both of them get very nervous. But then he decides to leave his dead body in his car, and at the same time, he also decides to leave. That they will throw his dead body into pieces and throw it in different places, and when Vincent is cutting his body parts to do the same. Then a piece of his ear is eaten by the dog Vincent. He is very surprised to see this and gives her another piece to eat, which seems to be eaten with great taste. Next morning, when Vincent is late to come to the shop, so he asks his wife, "Have you sold anything yet?" But before she could tell anything, a lady would come there who says that I want more meat like that. Like you just gave me. Because his test is always very good. Sophie would have been very surprised to hear this, and asks Vincent to get that meat checked. After eating, she is quite surprised because it was very tasty. So she asks Vincent what kind of meat it is. He states that Iranian pork has meat. Then after that lady's departure, Sophie asks Vincent again about that meat and tells them that I had turned the dead body of that wagon into the meat, which I can send slowly to the people, and it was the same meat. Although he tries to remove her, Sophie refuses him for this thing and says that people like it very much. Will do it because it is tasty. And somewhere his words turn out to be true, because their sales because of that meat, it had increased a lot. Even a police officer buys meat from them and takes them away. Then at night, we see Vincent, who cooks meat, starts eating it. That's when Sophie comes there, during this time when Vincent was eating that meat after tasting it. So Sophie says, "I already told you that it is very tasty, and if we sell it for double the price, even then people will buy it." The next day we visit Vincent Sophie with her daughter Lucas, where she learns that her daughter's boyfriend is Wagon. For this reason, his daughter has also given up eating meat. Then when it is learned that he works in a Wagon restaurant, then those people also reach Wagon restaurants. Because but he was looking for such a person, which is a complete wagon, which he can use for his meat. Then they see the manager of the hotel there, who is followed by Vincent. Although Vincent attacks him, he was about to do it, but because of his shouting, he panics and leaves his car. After Vincent, Key's wife explains to him, "If we have to save our shop, so you have to be a serial killer." Then the next day they become wagons and ask people to stop eating meat. Then he met a man named Joshua there, it occurs, who asks him to introduce him to his wagon team, so Vincent and Sophie meet him at his designated place. Reach for. Although here they wanted to kill him. But seeing his companions, he stops. Then a girl in his team, Hamra, tells that I met a man whose father has a lot of meat shops, and I stole a shop key from one of them. And when Vincent learns that the shop belongs to none other than Mark, so he joins the team of those people and leaves with them. After this, they reach the shop wearing the masks of all the animals, and together they destroy that shop completely. On the other hand, Vincent and Sophie are sitting in a restaurant. So at that time, they get into a fight, due to which Vincent leaves Sophie and walks away. Just then a waiter from the restaurant comes to Sophie, who talks to Sophie and drops her at the house as well as tries to chat with her. Here Sophie learns that the waiter is a vegan. That's why she gets trapped in her words and takes her to the house. However, Vincent feels very bad seeing this. But she tells him that we can kill it, but when Sophie is distracting the waiter's attention, she thinks that her husband will come and attack her. But Vincent categorically refuses to do so, which makes his wife very angry, and says, "I can't be with you because you don't love me." After hearing this, when Vincent leaves the room, so he sees the completely naked waiter. Seeing this, Vincent gets very angry and kills him very mercilessly by continuously attacking his head with a flower pot kept there, after which both of them together take out pieces of meat from the dead body and are very happy. The next morning Sophie gets a call from her friend Stephanie, who tells her about the ruin of her shop, although they knew everything about it, because they, along with the wagon team, ransacked their shop and set it on fire. And because now Vincent and Sophie's shop started running very fast. That's why they decide to kill new people one by one, which they started enjoying a lot. Then when they both invite a vegan boy named Vinny to meet. So the boy gets to know their truth even before killing him. Due to this he starts running, but due to fear Vinny gets a heart attack. And there he falls to the ground. In the next scene, Vincent and Sophie reach Mark's house, where he also feeds them the meat of his shop, which Mark likes a lot. After which he asks Vincent about the farm from which he buys the meat. But Vincent says that you're my competition. Why should I tell you about this? On which Mark says that how did you become my competition? Because last year we earned a lot of money. On which Vincent says that we feed people good quality meat. Mark gets very angry after hearing this. While you feed him anything, which leads to a fight between them, and Vincent angrily bites and chews Mark's ear, which both Mark and Stephanie are very much surprised to see. That's how he is chewing and eating the flesh of a human, although Vincent spits that earpiece to distract his attention. And says you should have more wagons. Then both of them leave from there and start hunting new people. In the next scene, both of them go on a picnic where they meet a man, which was the wagon. Because of this, they both kill him. After which Vincent and Sophie arrive at a brinjal party where they were trying to find their next victim. That's when they meet Lucas, who is quite surprised to see both of them at the vegan party. And says that both of you have not closed the shop yet. Simultaneously Lucas says that a lot of wagon people are being killed and all this is a conspiracy by the butcher people, so we will pick it for this because the next number can be ours too. A man present there listens to all these things. In the scene we find Vincent and Sophie chasing a vegan girl to kill her. Although she tries to escape they both kill her. Then at night when Vincent is preparing the girl's meat, he finds her. A police officer comes to the shop, seeing that he was very nervous, although during that time he somehow sends the police officer from there. After seeing all this he was very scared, so he tells Sophie that this should stop everything, as well as he says that we did this work to save our store and now our store is completely safe, so we can finish this everything before we can completely become a psycho or a cannibal, because now I feel like eating even after seeing the living people. Only then Lucas forgives them at their house. She reaches to ask. Here Sophie wanted Vincent to kill Lucas too. But Vincent sends Lucas from there and says, do you have no idea how much our daughter loves him? Then next day when both of them reach the shop, then the people who came there when the same old meat when asked, Vincent says that now we have run out of meat, due to which all the people present in the shop leave from there. After which Vincent also leaves the shop with his dog, and when Sophie is alone at the shop, that's when the members of the brinjal team come there and kidnap Sophie. Here when Vincent sees those people's car, he understands that they have come to know that Sophie and Vincent are the butchers and the wagon team. There was no one else to tell all this to him but the same man in the wagon party who was listening to these people, and then when they were about to kill Sophie, Vincent reaches there with a weapon and attacks them all. He starts beating them badly, although during this time Joshua was getting very heavy on Vincent and starts beating him. Also, the screwdriver in his hand drives Vincent's chest, but by then Sophie also frees herself and kills Joshua by attacking him with a cook. But we see again that the truth about Vincent and Sophie is all the people. There is no one to tell but Stephanie and Mark, because they got suspicious the same day Vincent cut off Mark's ear. Then with this, the movie ends here. Friends, hope you guys must have liked the explanation, and if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel,